The story of the Anglo-Saxons begins in the shadow of a fallen empire. As the mighty Romans withdrew from Britain in the early 5th century, a new chapter unfolded, a tale of migration, conquest, and transformation. Across the churning waters of the North Sea came tribes of seafarers, the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes. They arrived not as a unified force, but as scattered groups, each seeking fertile lands and new opportunities in a land left vulnerable and ripe for change. What followed was an era of mystery and marvel. These settlers would forge a new identity, blending traditions from their homelands with the influences of the British Isles. Fact number 1. A buried ship and its treasures revealed an ancient world of kings and warriors. In 1939, archaeologists uncovered one of England's greatest treasures at Sutton Hoo, an Anglo-Saxon ship burial that redefined our understanding of this ancient culture. The discovery was nothing short of breathtaking. A wooden ship, though long decayed, left its imprint in the soil, filled with treasures fit for a king. Among these artifacts was a magnificent helmet, adorned with intricate designs of warriors and mythical creatures, now one of the most iconic images of the Anglo-Saxon world. This burial wasn't just about wealth. It revealed the sophisticated artistry and beliefs of the Anglo-Saxons. The grave goods included gold jewelry, a ceremonial shield, and silverware, showcasing connections to distant lands. Sutton Hoo stands as a testament to the grandeur and complexity of this era, drawing us into the mysteries of a society where artistry and reverence for the dead were deeply intertwined. Fact number 2. A shift in beliefs transformed not only faith, but an entire way of life. The Anglo-Saxons' early spiritual world was steeped in paganism. They worshipped gods like Woden, the All-Father, and Thunor, the god of thunder, and held sacred rites in natural spaces like groves and rivers. Their beliefs centered on fate, courage, and the veneration of ancestors, weaving a spiritual tapestry that defined their culture and worldview. By the 7th century, however, a dramatic shift occurred. Christianity, brought by missionaries like St. Augustine of Canterbury, began to replace these ancient traditions. Conversion wasn't immediate, it took generations, but the influence of the Church reshaped their society. Monasteries became centers of learning, while Christian rituals merged with older customs. The transition from paganism to Christianity was more than a religious change. It was a cultural evolution that bridged the old and the new, leaving a profound legacy on Anglo-Saxon England. Fact number 3. The name England was born from a legacy that still defines its people. The name Anglo-Saxon reflects the merging of the Angles and Saxons, two dominant tribes among the settlers. It's from the Angles that the name England originates, linking the country's identity to these early pioneers. This fusion of tribes created a shared culture, one that became the cornerstone of English society for centuries. Their legacy is embedded in the very name of the nation. More than just a name, the Anglo-Saxons' influence extended into governance, traditions, and language, shaping what we now recognize as the English identity. Their systems of laws, local assemblies, and the focus on community set the stage for England's evolution. By building a cohesive society from diverse origins, the Anglo-Saxons left an indelible mark that resonates through history, reminding us of their pivotal role in the nation's development. Fact number 4. The evolution from runes to a new language paved the way for modern English. Before the Latin alphabet dominated, the Anglo-Saxons used a runic script called Futhorc to carve inscriptions on stones, wood, and metal. These runes, mysterious and striking, conveyed everything from magical symbols to practical messages. Over time, as Christianity spread, the Latin script replaced runes. enabling the Anglo-Saxons to produce extensive written works in Old English, their native language. Old English became the cornerstone of England's literary tradition. It was the language of epic poetry, religious texts, and legal codes, bridging the oral and written worlds. Works like Beowulf and the Anglo-Saxon Chronicles wouldn't exist without this linguistic evolution. The transition from runes to Latin script was more than a shift in writing. It marked the beginning of a literary tradition that would evolve into modern English, ensuring the stories of this era were preserved for future generations. Fact number 5. Rival realms fought to shape the future of the land that became England. The Anglo-Saxon world wasn't a unified state, but a mosaic of kingdoms, each vying for power and influence. Known as the Heptarchy, this collection included Wessex, Mercia, Northumbria, and East Anglia, among others. Each kingdom had its own rulers, culture, and military strength, creating a dynamic and often volatile political landscape. This competition fostered innovation, alliances, and legendary battles that shaped the era. Among these kingdoms, Wessex ultimately emerged as a dominant force, particularly under the leadership of King Alfred the Great. Yet, each kingdom contributed to the cultural richness of Anglo-Saxon England, from Northumbria's monasteries to Mercia's military might. This patchwork of rival powers made the period one of constant flux, yet it also laid the groundwork for the eventual unification of England. The Heptarchy is a story of fragmentation, resilience, and the slow forging of a nation. Fact number 6. Hidden within monasteries, remarkable creations preserved a fading culture. Anglo-Saxon monasteries weren't just places of worship, they were hubs of learning, creativity, and cultural preservation. These religious centers housed monks who meticulously copied texts by hand, producing illuminated manuscripts that remain some of the most exquisite artifacts of the medieval world. The Lindisfarne Gospels, with its intricate artwork and vibrant colors, is a testament to their craftsmanship and devotion. Beyond art, monasteries preserved knowledge. They were repositories of historical records, religious texts, and even early science. Monks worked tirelessly to ensure that the written word endured in a time when oral tradition dominated. These manuscripts didn't just serve the Anglo-Saxons, they shaped European culture by transmitting ideas and stories across generations. The monasteries symbolize a golden age of Anglo-Saxon intellectual life, blending faith and creativity in a way that still captivates us today. Fact number 7. Beautiful creations of metal tell stories of power, trade, and artistry. The Anglo-Saxons were masterful artisans, creating stunning jewelry, weapons, and ceremonial objects that showcased their skill and creativity. Gold and garnet brooches, intricately designed swords, and shields adorned with mythical imagery reveal a society where beauty and function went hand in hand. Their craftsmanship wasn't limited to personal adornment. It extended to their coins, which became a vital part of their economy. Anglo-Saxon coins, especially the silver pennies, were more than currency. They symbolized the kingdom's wealth, power, and connection to trade networks that stretched across Europe. The designs on these coins often featured rulers, reinforcing their authority. This blend of artistry and practicality highlights the sophistication of Anglo-Saxon society, where every object, whether for war, trade, or display, told a story of cultural ingenuity. Fact number 8. A written record offers a rare glimpse into their struggles and triumphs. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicles is one of the most valuable historical records of medieval England. Commissioned by King Alfred the Great in the late 9th century, it consists of a collection of annals documenting key events from the migration of the Anglo-Saxons to the Norman conquest. These entries were maintained by various monasteries, providing a rare glimpse into the politics, warfare, and daily life of the time. What sets the Chronicles apart is their perspective. They were written by Anglo-Saxons themselves, offering a voice from within the society they describe. From victories against Viking invaders to the construction of fortified towns, these records vividly recount the triumphs and struggles of the era. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicles are more than a historical document. They are a legacy, preserving the story of a people who shaped the destiny of a nation. Fact number 9. Raids and invasions reshaped a people and left a mark that still lingers today. The 9th and 10th centuries brought dramatic changes to Anglo-Saxon life as Viking raiders arrived on England's shores. These invaders from Scandinavia launched brutal attacks, targeting monasteries and villages for their wealth. Their arrival plunged Anglo-Saxon England into chaos, but it also sparked resilience and adaptation among the Anglo-Saxon rulers. Over time, the Vikings didn't just raid. They settled, intermingling with the Anglo-Saxons and influencing their culture, language, and governance. This blending of societies created a unique cultural fusion, evident in place names, traditions, and even the legal system. The Viking invasions were a crucible of conflict and collaboration, shaping the course of Anglo-Saxon history and leaving a lasting mark on England's identity. Fact number 10. A king's vision and courage changed the course of England's history. Alfred the Great, King of Wessex from 871 to 899, is celebrated as one of England's most remarkable leaders. Facing relentless Viking invasions, Alfred turned adversity into triumph by reorganizing his kingdom's defenses. He established a network of fortified towns, or burhs, which allowed his people to withstand attacks and reclaim territory. His leadership culminated in a decisive victory at the Battle of Edington in 878, forcing the Viking leader Guthrum to convert to Christianity and make peace. Alfred's military strategies not only preserved Wessex, but also laid the groundwork for the eventual unification of England. Beyond the battlefield, Alfred's legacy shines in his cultural and administrative reforms. He promoted literacy and education, commissioning translations of key texts into Old English to make knowledge accessible. Alfred's dedication to justice, education, and governance earned him the title the Great, a distinction unmatched by other English monarchs. His reign marked a turning point in English history. Fact number 11. A single battle ended an era and set England on a new path. The Battle of Hastings in 1066 was a turning point that marked the end of the Anglo-Saxon era. King Harold II, the last Anglo-Saxon king of England, faced William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, in a brutal clash for the throne. Despite Harold's forces being battle-hardened from earlier conflicts, the Normans' strategic ingenuity, including the feigned retreat tactic, led to their victory. Harold's death during the battle, famously depicted in the Bayeux Tapestry, symbolized the collapse of Anglo-Saxon dominance. The Norman conquest ushered in sweeping changes, from the feudal system to Norman architectural styles. While the battle was a devastating loss for the Anglo-Saxons, their cultural and societal contributions persisted, subtly influencing the new Norman rulers. The Battle of Hastings remains one of history's most significant turning points, ending one era and laying the foundation for another. Fact number 12. Their justice system valued lives and solved conflicts in surprising ways. The Anglo-Saxons developed a detailed legal system that emphasized order and compensation rather than outright punishment. Central to their laws was the concept of vergild, a payment made to compensate for injuries or deaths. The amount of vergild varied according to the victim's social status. Nobles commanded the highest payments, while lower-ranking individuals required less. This system aimed to prevent blood feuds and maintain societal harmony. Anglo-Saxon laws also reflected the values of their time, such as the importance of kinship and community. Crimes like theft and violence were addressed through fines and restitution, often negotiated within assemblies of local leaders. These codes, some of the earliest written legal documents in England, show a society deeply invested in justice and fairness. They reveal how governance and law were central to maintaining stability in the often turbulent Anglo-Saxon world. Fact number 13. Daily life was simple yet structured, built on farming and community ties. The heartbeat of Anglo-Saxon life was found in small villages scattered across the countryside. These communities, typically made up of wooden homes surrounding a central hall, thrived on farming. People grew wheat, barley, and vegetables while raising livestock like pigs and cattle. Their lives revolved around the seasons, with planting, harvesting, and celebrations marking the passage of time. Social classes were clearly defined. At the top were the nobles, who owned vast lands and held significant power. Beneath them were the ceorls, or free peasants, who worked the land and formed the backbone of society. Slaves, often captured during wars, occupied the lowest rung. Despite these divisions, the village was a tightly knit unit where everyone contributed to the community's survival. This simple yet structured way of life provided stability in an era of change and uncertainty. Fact number 14. Their meals tell a story of survival, celebration, and connection to the land. The Anglo-Saxons' diet was both practical and hearty, reflecting their agrarian lifestyle. Bread was a staple, baked from wheat or barley, often accompanied by meat like pork or beef. Fish, particularly eel, was a common source of protein, and they made good use of vegetables like leeks, onions, and beans. Ale was the beverage of choice, brewed locally and consumed daily. Honey was the primary sweetener, used to flavor food and create mead, a popular alcoholic drink. Feasting played a significant role in their culture, with communal meals symbolizing unity and celebration. These gatherings weren't just about sustenance. They were a time to share stories, strengthen bonds, and honor traditions. The Anglo-Saxon diet offers a glimpse into a resourceful society that relied on the land for nourishment and connection. Fact number 15. An epic tale of a hero's battles holds the spirit of an extraordinary age. The Anglo-Saxon epic poem Beowulf is more than just a story. It's a window into the values, fears, and aspirations of a warrior society. Written in Old English, it tells the tale of Beowulf, a hero who battles ferocious monsters and a deadly dragon. These encounters symbolize the eternal struggle between good and evil, while the poem's vivid imagery and dramatic tension captivate readers and listeners alike, even today. Beyond its thrilling narrative, Beowulf preserves cultural insights about kinship, honor, and mortality. It emphasizes loyalty to one's lord and the fleeting nature of life, themes central to Anglo-Saxon life. This literary masterpiece, rich in poetic devices and alliteration, is not just entertainment, it's a historical artifact that gives voice to a time when oral storytelling was the heart of cultural preservation. Beowulf stands as a timeless legacy of courage and human resilience. Thank you for watching. Do you know any other fascinating facts about the Anglo-Saxons? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss more incredible facts and untold history.